In 2013 at Lechijek, Hong Kong, an elementary school student suddenly left the classroom. A few minutes later, the whole school heard a terrifying thud. When teachers arrived at the basketball court, they found the little girl lying sprawled on the ground. School leaders immediately came to the scene to handle the incident. However, instead of being honest, they clung to rules, trying to downplay what had happened to protect the school's reputation. The poor female student missed the chance to be saved. How did everything turn out in the end? Why did this horrific accident happen, and who is responsible? You are following the dark side of school cases. Student falls from 5th floor, teacher acts like nothing happened, on the Crime Channel. As usual, if this story leaves an impression on you, don't hesitate to leave a like as encouragement. If this is the first time we've had the chance to meet, press follow and turn on notifications to stay updated on the most classic cases. La Teo Ki, 10 years old, was a 5th grade student in Hong Kong. Her father worked as a delivery man, while her mother was an office worker. Teo Ki lived with her parents, grandparents, and a 6-year-old sister in apartment 6 of the Thin Phong building, Kwai Than Dong residential area. She was quite introverted and timid, but always obedient to her parents and loving towards her sister. Teo Ki attended Ka Chun Elementary School in Lechijek, belonging to the Christian Church. Ka Chun Elementary School was established in 1961. In the eyes of many parents, the teaching and learning methods here were relatively gentle, with fewer assignments and less academic pressure on students compared to other schools. At school, due to poor academic performance and being quiet, La Teo Ki didn't have many friends. In 2013, when she entered 5th grade, Teo Ki was placed in a special class with 9 students who had poor academic performance. Due to not improving her grades and often forgetting to submit homework, Teo Ki was repeatedly deducted points. She told her mother that she couldn't concentrate on studying because her classmates were very mischievous and noisy. Teo Ki's mother had petitioned the school to change her class, but was refused. The reason given was that the school had already made arrangements and couldn't change them for just one student. Unable to do anything else, her mother was forced to let her daughter continue studying in the special class. At 7:40 a.m. on December 9, 2013, classes had not yet started, but many students had already arrived at school and entered their classrooms to wait for their homeroom teachers. The school had also arranged for teachers to be on each floor to maintain order. A teacher named Ngui was assigned to manage the 5th floor. As soon as she arrived in class, Teo Ki put her backpack on the desk and went out without anyone knowing why. After that, class began. When the homeroom teacher took attendance, she discovered that La Teo Ki was not in the classroom. She thought the girl had gone to the restroom, so this teacher didn't go looking for her immediately and started the lesson. At 7:46 a.m., a loud noise suddenly rang out. The supervisor saw Teo Ki lying unconscious on the basketball court and immediately notified Vice Principal Cao Wian-hoa. The school leadership immediately sent someone to call Vice Principal Thak Lin, as Miss Thak had a first aid certificate. She was the one who always cared for students when they felt unwell or were injured. When Miss Thak Lin and another teacher arrived at the basketball court, the supervising teacher was still just standing there looking at Teo Ki, not checking for injuries or trying to wake the girl up. With the support of others, Thak Lin tried to perform cardiopulmonary resuscitation on La Teo Ki. At this time, the victim suddenly vomited, but the vice principal only focused on calling someone to clean it up. Someone suggested calling an ambulance. Vice Principal Cao Wian-hoa then went to the office to make a phone call. However, strangely, in such an urgent situation, they didn't call the police or contact the government's emergency hotline. Instead, they only sought support from a charitable organization, the St. John Ambulance Association. On the way to the scene, the ambulance team called the school 3 times to understand the situation clearly, but each time the response from the school was very vague. The line from the elementary school was even repeatedly hung up. Fearing that the school was hiding information, and because they couldn't grasp the situation or the severity of the accident, the St. John team reported to the police. Princess Margaret Hospital also received the report and immediately sent ambulance to the elementary school. At 7:57 a.m., 11 minutes after student Latiu was found, the St. John ambulance team arrived at the scene. When reporting the initial situation to the ambulance team, teacher Cao Yan-hoa said Tioki had been able to stand up. She even claimed that the girl could move by wheelchair. However, when approaching the injured student, the St. John team discovered that the girl's head was cracked, with fluid flowing from her ears and nose. Her spine and both legs were deformed, and about 30 centimeters from the victim's head was a puddle of yellow and pink liquid with a tissue. The scene was completely different from Vice Principal Cao Yan-hoa's initial description. At 8:04 a.m., the hospital ambulance arrived at the school. Recognizing Latiu Ki's serious condition, the paramedics quickly put her in the ambulance, hurriedly performing CPR while moving to the hospital. About 10 minutes later, the victim was brought to the emergency room of Princess Margaret Hospital. Unfortunately, the girl was pronounced dead at 8:31 a.m. The school administration announced the sad news to Tiokai's family. The girl's mother rushed to the school, panicked and repeatedly asking loudly, "What happened to my child? What happened to her?" Although many teachers stood beside her to console her, for a long time, the mother remained in shock. Immediately after, the police cordoned off the scene to investigate the incident. This immediately attracted media attention, with many press agencies continuously reporting. The online community also debated a lot about the incident. Why could this horrific accident have happened? What about the responsibility of Kachin Elementary School? The school also tried to explain in detail how they handled the issue. However, those explanations did not clarify the matter, but inadvertently revealed the dark side of this elementary school. During the scene investigation, police found Latiu Kai's fingerprints on the wall connecting the 5th and 6th floors. From this position, the victim may have climbed over the railing and then fallen. The investigation team also tried to gather statements from many teachers and students, but unfortunately, no one at the school witnessed the incident. As for the family of the deceased, they said that the whole family had visited a dinosaur exhibition a week before. Tioki was always happy and showed no strange behavior. She had also never sought help from the school's social workers or psychologists. The police didn't find any letter or message on her person or in her school bag. A day before the accident occurred, Tioki had also told people that she would go for ice cream after school. The police believed that Tioki had no motive for suicide, so this incident was not normal. The case was assigned to the Major Crimes Investigation Team. Later, a nearby incident was revealed. Tioki had been bullied by 3 good students while riding the school bus. In November 2013, about a month before the tragic incident occurred, Tioki's mother discovered that her daughter had lost her water bottle. The girl recounted that while sitting on the bus home, 3 classmates had opened her school bag without permission and dumped all her belongings on the ground. Tioki had picked up her books and school supplies herself, but forgot her water bottle on the bus. Lachuki's parents immediately complained to the bus nanny and the school administration. The 3 misbehaving students wrote apology letters to their daughter and expressed regret for bullying their friend. Moreover, the victim had planned to write Christmas cards to those who had bullied her at the end of December. Therefore, her parents did not continue to delve into the children's story. Normally, schools would certainly find ways to protect bullied students so they could feel safe coming to school as usual. While the case was still under investigation, the press reported on a post believed to be from a student on social media with the following content. "Actually, I'm very sad. Why? I saw her being harassed by others, but I didn't do anything. I regret it very much. You were very good. Do you know?" Furthermore, since the case began, many students have shared images of school violence on social media. Therefore, many people guessed that Tioki had taken her own life due to bullying. However, when reporters asked these students about the incident, they all said they didn't know the victim and were not related to this accident. The school also affirmed that besides the bus incident, they had not received any complaints about Tioki being bullied. Besides the cause of death and the school violence incident being discussed, the school's handling of the situation was also heavily criticized. The forensic results showed that the victim's neck, front face, left arm, and inner left thigh had many needle marks. Neither the St. John ambulance team nor the hospital had given injections to the girl. Therefore, it's highly likely that the school had administered first aid injections to Tiyuki themselves. However, during the autopsy, there were no drugs in the girl's body, and the timing of the injections couldn't be determined based on the wounds. So who injected her, and what was the purpose of those needles? That wasn't even the strangest thing. The media discovered that Kachin Elementary School was only 900 meters away from a health station and 1.5 kilometers from a hospital, but the school notified the farthest place, 6.9 kilometers away, which was the volunteer ambulance team. This handling was clearly unusual. The next day, Principal Huang Tinvan held a press conference to clarify the matter. Reporters asked her at least 8 times why the school only concluded that the victim had fainted and why they didn't report to the police right away. The principal only shed tears, repeatedly saying that this was the school's established procedure and that they would conduct further clarification. Additionally, when asked about the reason for only notifying the farthest ambulance team, the principal showed clear discomfort and left without answering. Internet users continuously criticized the school's rigid problem-solving approach, only following existing procedures, leading to the poor girl missing the chance to be saved. 9 days after the accident occurred, Latsu-Kai's family held a funeral for the girl. Many relatives, friends, teachers, and students from the school attended, including the principal and 2 vice principals. After the funeral, the victim's father severely criticized the school for not speaking up to apologize or provide a satisfactory explanation about the incident. Another puzzling thing was that the school administration explained that they didn't report immediately because they didn't see blood on the body of the injured student, so they concluded that the girl had only fainted. However, some students said that at that time, there was bright red liquid gushing out from the victim's mouth and nose. Clearly, the girl's condition when discovered was not just a simple fainting spell. Latsuki's family and the online community also suspected that the school was lying so that the girl could pass away peacefully. Everyone hoped that the truth would soon be revealed. In 2015, 2 years after the incident occurred, the case was brought to trial. Some teachers unexpectedly revealed the dark side of their industry that had never been known before. On July 14, 2015, the first trial began. The court had summoned 27 witnesses. However, the testimonies of 2 vice principals and 2 teachers were suspected by the judge. Notably, Vice Principal Thach Lin was criticized most heavily. She said that when giving first aid to Tioki, because she was so focused on saving the person, she forgot about the cause of the girl's accident. Moreover, when lying on the ground, the student's body was very clean, looking as if she was sleeping. However, in reality, this teacher had someone clean up Tioki's vomit. As the person directly handling the incident, she also didn't report to the police. She even had the puzzling action of saying to the girl, "Choki, close your eyes." Clearly, this vice principal had provided a series of unfounded testimonies that were completely untrustworthy. Her continuous lies only seemed to rub salt into the very deep wound of the victim's family. Vice Principal Cao Wianhua was also suspected. On that day, she was the one who called the St. John ambulance team and continuously provided false information to downplay the seriousness of the incident. The school supervisor was also believed to have arrived early but had no intention of checking the girl's condition, just standing still until the school leadership arrived. As for Miss Ngui, the teacher on duty on the 5th floor that day, when asked multiple times about why she didn't notice La Thioki leaving the classroom, she only replied, "No matter how many times I'm asked, I can only answer that I work that way." In addition, there was a female student named Truong who also testified in court. The girl said she had been riding the same bus with Tioki for many years, and there was no bullying on the bus. On the day of the incident, Truong had also greeted La Tioki, but the victim only looked out the window without responding. Initially, Truong's classmate denied bullying Tioki, but after being criticized by the victim's mother, this female student admitted that she was the school bully, but emphasized that they had reconciled. Of course, the judge also believed that this student was not credible. However, there were also some honest witnesses. For example, when a school official was asked why they didn't call the police, she frankly said that the two vice principals had asked teachers not to call the emergency hotline 999 to avoid media harassment. Therefore, they could only call the emergency number posted at the school. On July 23rd, the court announced the cause of La T's death. The lawyer representing the elementary school said that La Tioki had taken cold medicine the night before the incident occurred, so she was drowsy, and the accident unfortunately happened. However, the court believed that the railing on the 5th floor was as tall as Tioki, and even if she lost control, it would be difficult for her to climb out and fall. Moreover, there was no evidence to show that the victim committed suicide. The court's conclusion was an unclear cause. At the end of the trial, the judge once again severely criticized the conduct of 4 teachers from Kachin Elementary School, including the 2 vice principals. They continuously defended themselves by lying, unable to set an example for students. The judge decided to transfer the files to the police and lawyers to consider whether these witnesses were fabricating testimony. After the trial, La Tioki's parents didn't say a word. Under police escort, they left. Later, when journalists contacted them, the family only replied that they wanted to live in peace. The victim's family didn't make things difficult for the school anymore. The police and lawyers also didn't find evidence showing that the 4 teachers had given false testimony. The case seemed to have ended. However, there was a secret piece of information leaked. Some people had initiated an online petition demanding that the Chinese Christian Church, which manages Kachin Elementary School, publicly apologize and dismiss those who were said to have lied. Moreover, after the incident, someone posted on social media an article detailing the dark past with shady practices of the principal and vice principals of this elementary school. Someone claiming to be a school official said that the leaders of this school were all hypocrites, dictatorial, and cruel. Principal Hong Tin Van, who was not at school at the time of the incident, had continuously asked teachers and staff to pray after the incident, while prohibiting any discussion about any details of the tragic event that had occurred at the school. Before attending the inquest into the cause of the victim's death, she had called all staff to eat together and prepare their testimonies. There were also rumors that since the incident occurred, Vice Principal Thak Lin didn't dare to go up to the 5th floor. Many students who saw images of La Tioki before her death had been having nightmares continuously. Some female students even said they had to transfer schools because they had encountered ghosts on campus. On September 1, 2015, the first day of school after the investigation into La Tioki's case, some people came to the school gate, pasting flyers about the incident, tying black cloth on the school gate, demanding justice for the unfortunate victim. The school leadership also announced that they had established a task force to support the school in building rules for handling sudden accidents. An internet user asked whether those 4 teachers would be dismissed. The school board replied that it's not like they can dismiss someone just because they want to. The 4 people are still continuing to work. This answer, of course, did not receive consensus from the online community. However, on parent forums on social media, many parents spoke up in support of the school and Ms. Thak. They believed that Thak Lin was a good teacher and suspected that there were reporters slandering the school. A fierce debate between these parents and internet users erupted. As time passed, the incident gradually faded into oblivion. Although the 4 directly involved teachers continued to work at the school, within just a few years, they had successively resigned. The question arises, is the future life of a 10-year-old child and the truth more important than protecting the school's reputation? At that time, the view of the 2 vice principals was that bad things shouldn't be spread outside, so they tried to downplay the incident. They kept lying, and because of this, the selfish dark side of these teachers and the school's rigid system of rules were gradually revealed. In your opinion, who should be held responsible? Will the truth about this case be buried in oblivion? What do you think about today's video? Please leave your opinions right in the comments section so we can discuss together. And before you leave, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the most classic cases.